Have you expressed any plans to actually use the fund to pursue projects in the foreseeable future? And if so, what projects?
At this point, the projects have been put on pause.
I see. So we're talking about a fund that hasn't been contributed into because the state has waived the obligation to do so for at least a temporary period of time. And then even if the funds were to go into this particular fund, you don't have a set of plans that you are planning to pursue with them.
But all that requires is the legislature and the governor to move forward once the fund has been.
Yes, no, I understand, but we're trying to figure out the degree to which the state is injured by the money not being there. And so on the one hand, you know, I hear Justice Sotomayor exploring with you the fact that the state has allowed the money not to be there in the recent past by saying, don't worry, you don't have to put it in there, Mohila. So that seems to be a sort of strike against the state now saying we're so injured because the money isn't there. And then we have, on top of that, your representation here that the state isn't even actively seeking or interested in the money insofar as it's decided that it's going to engage in some sort of project that we need the money for. So I'm just wondering about the speculative, attenuated nature of the harm that you're alleging on the basis of there not being, or of the risk that we won't have extra money put into this fund.
Your Honor, I disagree with what you said, that the state has waived the obligation under the fund. What the state has done is it's engaged in a quid pro quo discussion with Mohila, and it has said that in exchange for $65 million in payments to the scholarship fund, it has allowed the timeline to be extended.
Yes, I apologize. I'm just saying the state has not pressed Mohila to put money into the fund.
Because right? It's correct, but because it has been receiving money in another fund all along.
I appreciate that, but I guess I'm just still trying to understand how you can look at that fund as the basis for the injury that you're claiming with respect to this particular plan.
Your Honor, because the next due date for the fund is a year from now.
And you can't extend it?
It can be extended, but that would be in exchange for them giving another contribution to a scholarship fund, which is further showing that there are further financial contributions.
And the plan is not totally ridding them of any opportunity to make money, so they do have some other income, yes?
Mohila?
Yes.
Whether Mohila has other, yes, Mohila has.
All right, so we could believe that the income that Mohila gets from its other sources of revenue could be used to pay off in a year the amount that the state says it requires in order to put off the obligation yet again, right?
I don't think, well, here's the key point in response. What Mohila says in the letter that the government filed as supplemental authority with the 8th Circuit is that they take all available funds beyond their expenses and reasonable reserves, and they devote them to student financial aid in Missouri. So if their operating revenues are cut by 40%, we know what they do with the money at the top, the excess money. They give it to students attending school in Missouri. So if their operating revenues go down, that's the first thing that's going to go.